I do have, I think you hit the nail right on the head. And so as I started to fear AI more and more, we've dumped a lot of time into our branding product. We were never a branding company. We would help companies make data-driven arguments, and we would write a lot of content and try to use data and stuff like that. And we've actually started to realize is that all the content that I write that's deeper in the website makes the argument and it kind of convinces you. But do you know how many people actually buy an Apple laptop, not because they were convinced, but because they went to the product page and then they had the impulse to buy?
Yeah.
The impulse is not something that ChatGPT is going to do, and you can combine it with Midjourney all you want. I'm telling you, they can do all the stuff that I was doing before about making data-driven arguments, but the wow factor, the impulse, the speed that you just talked about, all of that stuff, if you can understand the psychology of that and how to go from data to impulse and impulse to speed to buy.
Yeah, it's like how I've always thought about SEO, right? That SEO and SEM fulfills demand, and you can be better or less good at that. I think AI is the same way, but SEO and SEM don't create demand.
They do not.
You're not like, let me go to Google. Like, what do you want to buy? I don't know, man. Surprise me. Like, it doesn't work like that, right? It's like, sailboat, socks, like whatever, something. I'm going to buy something. It doesn't work like that, right? You're like, oh, I saw a commercial or somebody told me word of mouth. So why word of mouth is still so important. It creates demand top funnel, right? That then gets satiated mid funnel, and
it meets information needs.
Yeah,
that's all it does.
You're jumping in front of a train, right? A question train. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's a really good point, Chris. I completely concur. I think we are going to enter into a new golden era of branding, which is funny because so much of the marketing tech, ad tech is not about branding now. It's all about kind of information retrieval and satiation and optimization and conversion. You know, a lot of the mechanics of what we do has kind of moved away from branding. And so I do wonder if we'll see, you know, sort of a rise of things like TV and you know, even, you know, audio advertising and, you know, just more of that. We'll see.
Yeah. I think it's going to be married to utility. I mean, I think one of the things that we were talking about before were plugins, and this is just going to be a reality of, and I tell this story quite a bit, is that I'm going to go to a restaurant and I'm going to say, I went to doTERRA in Fort Washington and I loved it. ChatGPT, I ate something with shrimp and I don't remember the name. It's like, I've reviewed the menu and this is what it was. And this is the details. So it's like, well, you know what? That's way too high in calories. He goes, here's an alternative that's 50% less calories. With the Instacart plugin, that food will be at your house in 3 hours. Say yes to comply. And that's the world that we're gonna that we're sort of gonna live in. So you have that speed sort of mechanism built in. But I think what's gonna happen here is that we're really gonna have to be forced to say, hey, you know what? How do I win their attention and keep their attention right from the start? And I think that the branding and the impulse is gonna be stickier than data, because data is gonna become so ubiquitous because the robot overlords, like you said, it's just everyone's gonna have it. Does that make sense? And so like the companies that brand better and tell great stories are going to be ones that are sticky.